The thing that Stephano did that impressed me the most is he spread out those spines so that a Baneling could never splash on more than one spine crawler.
Yeah, even though that's kind of a basic move. No?
It is, but it's a basic move that players overlook all the time, even at the highest level.
Yeah, I sometimes do it with my cannons when I have to defend Baneling Bust. I'm like, okay, I have a lot of cannons and a Baneling thrown in, poof, all my cannons are gone. I was like, if I would have only spread them out a little bit, I think I would have still been alive.
Yeah, I mean, I tell myself every time I play against it, okay, I have to spread out my spines, and then the action starts, and like they're spread out at first, and then you lose a spine, and like, oh crap, and then you build two right next to each other, and then they both blow up at the same time, and you're like, damn it, why did I do that?
For the people who just tuned in, Stephano is 4-2 in our regular season. HayprO is unfortunately 0-6, but he still has chances to win at least 2 best of 3s in this season.
Looks like we're going to see a hatch first once again out of HayprO, and I believe Stephano also going to follow suit. Both these guys up to 15 supply with no geysers, no spawning pools. So I'm digging it, big macro style. Hatch first versus hatch first is really fun because you get it changes the whole dynamic of the mid game. There's so many other things that you have to prepare for. Massling is something that's really tough to deal with.
And layer timings are going to be super crucial as well.
You're exactly right. The Banelings are necessary when you go hatch first because of the threat of both those things. So I'm really eager to see how it plays out. So.
And both players are going to scout with their first overlord straight away that their opponent is going for hatch first as well. If you play hatch first, Ben, are you happy to see hatch first too? Or it doesn't really make a difference?
I don't know. I don't really like playing hatch first against hatch first because, like, okay, so here's my thing.
But isn't it like a nice confirmation or a nice relief straight away?
Yeah, that you're not dealing with like early pool.
Yeah,
that I concede. But whenever I go hatch first, I always 9 scout because that should be like a free win. Stephano is way better than me, so he's like, well, I don't care if you go early pool. I'm going to hatch first anyway, and I'll still be fine.
Stephano's drones are actually better than Zerglings.
It's true.
If they would only have speed upgrade, he would only make drones. Imagine super quick drones. Look, that would be so cool.
Like Turbo Crab, they turn into lobster claws. It's not the regular crab claw.
We have like the burrow charge from Ultralisk and Heart of the Swarm. Man, drones would be good.
Anything, or anyway, the annoying thing for me when you play hatch first versus hatch first, there's a period in the game where you just can't see what the other guy's doing. There's 2 queens out, the front is closed off, and you have no idea if he's building drones or if he's building units, and that's the most frustrating thing in the world.
But how can you say that with the new supercharged Overlord, man? The Overlord flies over everything. The queen would never see it coming.
You're right, and I think on Antiga you can safely park in the back of the natural and you can float in and check the drone count. But there's just, you know, it's frustrating, and if the queen isn't perfectly, or the overlord isn't perfectly placed, or you lose it, or you know, you make a small mistake and you're in the dark, then you have to guess, and guessing is no fun.
Both players, of course, starting off with speed straight away. HayprO continues mining gas band, and he's going to drop the Baneling Nest already. Stephano so far not dropping a Baneling Nest, but opposite of the first game, he is keeping at least 1 drone as his tractor, so he did not completely stop mining gas. Maybe that's because in the first game he was a little bit behind after his opening, and he saw that HayprO went hatch first. Maybe he watched the replays of HayprO in the NASL so far, or the VODs, which you can always find on youtube.com/NAStarLeague. I love how Moro, by the way, was like checking all the VODs of Hydra against all the Zergs that he played, so checking them. Maybe he thought that HayprO went for pretty early pulls a few times this season. Meanwhile, he made a lot of Zerglings right now.
Yeah, we're seeing straight away one of the things that that I was just talking about, that Massling follow-up is something that is very dangerous and very difficult to deal with if unscouted. Now it does fly, or those lings do run right under the Overlord, so HayprO knows this is coming, and he's morphing tons of Banelings, but will they finish in time is the question.
I think they will finish in time, Ben, but 7 Banelings, that's so much. If he controls this well, he should be in more than enough shape. Zergling's going to try to make their way into the main base.
Lings are going to come in. Oh, Stephano miscontrolling a little bit. Wow, actually ends up trading pretty well there. Kills every Baneling. Will he really kill every Baneling? No, what a dance. Running around. But, okay, so that was like 30 Zerglings for 7 Banelings.
Yeah, but during all this, Stephano was droning up, Ben, and he's 9 workers or 8 workers ahead right now, and that definitely matters. But Stephano does have to worry a little bit about the counter push from here.
He's going to be okay.
HayprO.
He's got 3 queens, and he's going to have lings. He's got the spine crawler. Stephano's going to be just fine, and that actually worked out pretty well for him. He'll lose one of these queens, but he still has enough to inject with.
And the second queen gets around it, but no worries. Additional links did spawn for Stephano. 4 or 5 Zerglings. If Stephano wouldn't have lost so many Zerglings against that first Baneling, I think that trade would have been even much better for him.
This next poke Stephano takes is going to force HayprO to make more units yet again. And you see on the production tab, 16 Zerglings coming.
Oh, and look at Stephano straight away, man. Spider senses, runs up this ramp. He's going to spot this base and will most likely be able to force a cancel on it.
Absolutely beautiful. Stephano making all the right moves here. Pulling way ahead economically. HayprO is forced to cancel that expand.
Ends up losing the
all
drone
good
as
stuff.
well.
And you know, and like I was saying before, this is why I don't like playing hatch first against hatch first, because you have to make these guesses. And HayprO played the safest way possible and still ends up coming out behind. So, although just barely, 41 drones to 37, 2 base to 2 base.
But just losing that hatch as well, or at least losing the drone, being able to force that hatch, not being able to use that money of the hatch in another way for quite a while, that kind of puts him behind.
Yep, layer is on the way for Stephano. He's on double Evo once again, and I think we'll see Infestorling once more. Stephano's like universal playstyle. Roach Infestor in ZVP, and then Infestorling and everything else.
It's almost like a deja vu. Once more forcing a cancel on this base, picking up the hatch as well. Really is going to put HayprO behind quite a bit. You can see HayprO's money is just way higher than it ever should have been. And I think HayprO is going to try to win this game on 2 bases, man.
Yo, Stephano supply block, Kev. I think we're about to see 8 Overlords. There goes 3 of them. And 5. If I know Stephano, it's going to be... Come on, Stephano. Don't make a liar out of us.
I'm still supply blocked. I need a few more
Maybe I should
Overlords.
make 3 more Overlords. That's not how French people sound at all.
But it's still the coolest voice.
Yes.
Look at HayprO, Ben. He just keeps trying to expand and expand, and now HayprO is going to get a layer as well. It's super late, and he had so much money for such a long time. Maybe it is because Stephano keeps forcing him to cancel this base, and maybe he's a little bit afraid to use all his larvae. Now he's going to morph in a lot of roaches after all, so I'm not sure why.
Yep, that'll at least give him the, I suppose, insurance he needs to make sure he doesn't lose that base again, but he is well behind here in the mid-game. Stephano on 48 drones. That's a solid 2 base economy, but he is on 3 bases, as we can see. Infestation Pit is not down yet, but I suspect we'll see it soon.
And I'm really kind of wondering how HayprO thinks he's going to be able to win this game.
Stephano's still just on 2 gas. I'm confused.
Small skirmish right now in the middle of the map. We see HayprO immediately starting roach speed. Stephano is 1-1 upgrades are about to finish up.
I think Stephano's just going to go for a 1-1 timing with a bunch of Zerglings and try to win, which is really silly against Banelings.
He's going to go for 111 Zerglings right now. He has 83 Zerglings already. It's just sick. He's going to get 2 upgrades now as well. HayprO meanwhile is just getting a lot of roaches. Ooh.
A couple of Banelings detonate there for a couple of Zerglings, but HayprO should be pretty content with that trade. Here come more Lings, and Stephano once more is going to be able to force a cancel on this base. But the Baneling presence, wow, Stephano, why are you committing so many Lings to that expand?
Oh, he's going to lose so many.
Actually, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad.
Wow, Stephano doing this so well.
This wasn't that bad, and Stephano...
There's still one more Baneling.
Trading cost effectively with pure Lings, and the Roaches just shot the last Baneling.
Wow, Stephano's playing so risky, but it's working out really well. Excellent micro. Both players still having a lot of money right now, and Stephano is going to eventually need something else than just Lings to deal with all these Roaches.
You would think, but he is just going to run in here and fight. These are unupgraded Roaches. They have, well, they do have +1 attack, but with +1 armor, actually, they're just fine.
Yeah. I mean, the positioning is everything right now. Only very few Roaches were able to take damage, and Stephano just ended up losing around 100 Lings. But he's on like four hatches, and he's just making Zerglings, so he's going to be able to remax quite easily. But if HayprO gets a couple of Banelings with this Roach army, Ben, he should be just fine.
He might even be fine with just pure Roach. Stephano perhaps overstepping his bounds a little bit, throwing away that many Lings on that wall of Roaches. 40 more Zerglings in production.
HayprO right now morphing a few Banelings. I think that's very smart. Stephano's once more going to try to swarm this Roach army. This should be better, but these Banelings eventually are going to morph.
Yeah, they are, but by the time they do, I think the Lings are mostly going to have melted away. And Stephano is really, like, come on. Stephano, throw down an Infestation Pit or something. He does have a Roach Warren, and he is going to start building a few Roaches. HayprO pushing forward. He's going to run into this single Spine Crawler. Has a chance to deny this 3rd base, and I think he'll be successful in that effort.
Spine Crawler is going to try to pick off as many Banelings as possible.
Man, the armor upgrade makes the Banelings not kill Zerglings in one hit, but I don't think it matters. There's just too many Roaches out. Stephano's own roaches are going to spawn, but at this point, he's in trouble. There's 11 roaches. No, not 11 roaches. There's 37 roaches in his natural, and Stephano just doesn't have any way to muster a defense. He's going to be forced to...
right now, a lot of roaches are coming in, and Zerglings are coming in from behind. Maybe if he pulls the drones too, Ben, he's able to make a final hold. I actually think that Stephano will be able to hold. If he traps all these roaches, that would be quite huge.
Tangles up a bunch of them, but HayprO is going to slip out of here with...
the upgrades are still kind of crazy for Stephano, man.
17 roaches to 26, and Stephano has lings in the mix.
Oh, Stephano's moving out a bit too far right now, I think, with these slow roaches.
But he's still trading pretty effectively, and the armor upgrade is proving to be brilliant. And HayprO, is he really going to lose this fight? I don't understand it, Kev. Stephano just on pure Zergling against Roach Baneling, and then transitions into Roach Ling against +1 roaches.
Roach speed is going to be ready soon for Stephano as well. And I mean, when HayprO made that really big push, Stephano did force the third base once more of HayprO. I didn't really think it was going to make a difference originally, but Stephano made an excellent hold. Now I think he should back off just a little bit though. +2 is almost ready for HayprO. It is ready right now.
Yeah, it finishes up, but +2 is, well...
Wow,
once again, so Stephano checks to see, oh, no third base, I'm still ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he killed the third base.
Unreal. And Stephano is going to continue to push forward, and this is what he does that other players just don't do. He just continues to push the attack. And again, he's going to get some kills. He will lose all of these roaches because he doesn't have speed. HayprO doing a good job positioning this, so there will be no retreat for Stephano. Yeah. Stephano's still streaming in with more units.
There is speed for Stephano right now.
Did finish up?
Yeah. But he's going to end up losing most of these roaches. That doesn't really matter. I think he overextended there a little bit, Ben. I don't think that was the best moment to attack. He's on 3 bases against 2. There was really no reason for him to push the issue right now. But he did do so. And upgrade-wise, he didn't really have an advantage anymore either, because it was 0-2 against 2-0.
Now it's 8 roaches against 27. There are lings out for Stephano, though. And Roach Ling is surprisingly good against pure roach.
Yeah, but if only there are a few more Banelings in this army of HayprO. Then again, the Banelings don't have any upgrades, so these Zerglings are suddenly pretty decent against Banelings.
Yeah, again, Stephano's just going to go pick a fight. HayprO getting kind of surrounded. These Zerglings absorb so much damage and deal so much damage, and HayprO is again forced to fall back, retreating. Stephano's still down in supply, but still being the aggressor. 32 more lings in production as more units stream out. Stephano just continues to fight with what looks to be an inferior army.
He has a lot of link streaming in though as reinforcements. But as you said, then I don't think right now in the middle of the map is the moment to fight for Stephano, and that's why he's going to retreat for now. If he just for once backs off a little bit and retreats and fights with his entire army,
this entire game, Stephano's been on just 2 gas. This is just almost ridiculous the way that he plays. Again, he's going to pick a big fight. I think Stephano may lose the queen at his 3rd, and that'll hurt. Look how low that queen's energy is, by the way. Getting micro back at the last possible second. And Stephano still musters a just barely defense. And HayprO again turned back. And both these guys just trying to continue to reinforce. HayprO's running out of money, Kev. He was never able to secure a 3rd base. His main's almost mined out.
Stephano doesn't have to fight here once more. He has so many links coming in. He could just back off temporarily. Now once more he does have the upgrade advantage though. It's 1-2 roaches against 2-0.
Yeah, but again, he loses that fight. He's going to have to fall back to the reinforcing Zerglings, and HayprO just really knows that he just has to win with this before he runs out of money. Oh no, overextending with these roaches.
Oh my God.
Getting completely surrounded. That could be game ending. HayprO's going to lose all these units, and now there's just not enough behind it. And Stephano, just relentless play. Pure Roach Ling against well-upgraded Roach. Going to come out on top.
Yeah, they're even right now, but as you said, Ben, Stephano is at least on 2 bases. HayprO is basically stuck on 1. He's still not rebuilding that hedge, which he tried to take for so many times. And Stephano wins with one of the craziest ZVZ styles I've ever seen, and I'm not even sure how good it really is. But when you have Stephano's micro and macro and mechanics, man, it seems like you can make anything work.
Yeah, he's continuing to inject well. Finally, those injections slipping a little bit here in the later stages of the game, but he's just so far ahead, and HayprO ran out of money. And I think this one's over, man. Stephano, I can't really believe it, but he's done it. He's held, and just doing it in a way that only Stephano seems to be capable of doing. 2 gas Roach Ling off of 3 base, 50 drones. Pretty incredible. Pretty damn incredible.
I don't really know what to say, Ben. I know I'm not the ZVZ expert, but this really baffles me.
It's not supposed to work, man. I mean, HayprO is supposed to be able to make a couple of Banelings and win this fight. But Stephano with the upgrade edge proves to be too much for him to handle. He's going to come in for this one final engagement, surrounds everything. The queen will fall, the roaches will melt away. And as Stephano's last round of reinforcements stream in, HayprO forced to GG.
And another 2-0 victory for Stephano in the NASL.
Unbelievable.
And yeah, one that's worth talking about at least, man. Explain, man, what did we just see? Because I can't really get my head around it.
You just saw Stephano win with the worst, like the less good build, in my opinion.
How can you win with pure Zerglings in ZVZ?
Against Roach Baneling? Yeah. Like really, it was pure Ling against Roach Bane for a long time.
I mean, Stephano played absolutely fantastic from time to time. Like that one moment when he sent all the Zerglings to the third, and then he picked up those Banelings one by one. It's so micro-attensive. When one small misclick, instead of selecting 3 links, you select 15 links and you send them all in and they all die. It could have gone so ugly for him. He did a lot of things right, but he also took a couple of bad fights. Like for instance, when he took out that third base once more and he wanted to push into the natural, he lost a lot of Zerglings over there. And suddenly he was down like 20 to 25 supply.
Yeah, and he barely makes a defense. We're going to go ahead and show that defense after he lost that fight. Yeah, everything Stephano did seemed to work, but just barely. This is the point where I thought HayprO had the game won.
Yeah, right. But right in this moment, man, you can see those Zerglings at the third. Right now, they are retreating, and those are the Zerglings that eventually give Stephano just enough units to be able to hold.
One thing that is apparent here is this is how you win in ZVZ, by holding barely. All the best Zerg players say you want to be able to just barely win, because that means that you've got the advantage. In this case, it means Stephano has the advantage of being up one base. Those Lings come back, surround the roaches, and allow him to usher HayprO out of there.
Really cool ZVZ. Yeah. Crazy ZVZ. Not sure if it's something that I can execute, man, but I enjoyed watching it.
I can't believe it. That game was brought to you guys by Epson Projectors. We did finally figure out how to get Night In on the line, so when we get back, we'll hear from him. We'll play a little segment, and we'll have our final series of the day, which is going to be Cloud versus Zenio. A really big one, so don't go anywhere. A lot more action at the NASL.